Hello, you're watching Everard Junction, and today I'm going to be doing a series on basically how to build a layout from start to finish. You can see I've built this extension here on the existing layout. The purpose of it will be carriage sidings, which will be used with shunters, a station pilot, so to speak. There's the station there. What will happen is shunter will come along, it will collect coaches, it will then take them round to the station, and it will also take empty coaches back round into the sidings. It will give a nice bit of operational interest to the layout, it will give my shunters something to do, and it's also very realistic. A number of stations from the 1980s would have done that. One notable one would have been Euston. So because I'm building this just over 6 foot extension, and I'm starting from scratch here, it's a good opportunity for me anyway to do a video series on the stuff I do when building a layout from the beginning, from the bare baseboard. So let's go back in time a little bit and have a look at how this baseboard was constructed, and then after that we'll move on to part 2, which will be starting to do track planning and thinking about the electrics. It goes without saying that the small scrapyard area will be going to make way for the entrance to the carriage sidings. The scrapyard is very small, but my big problem that I was having with it is that this area has too much going on. There is too much track. It's been overdone, and I don't think it works very well with the nice sort of rural sort of suburb area that we've got going on over there. And then you've got all this track in the foreground. I think it makes the area look too cluttered. So this is going to be scenicked, and the track will be removed, and there'll be a single line running into some carriage sidings. At least that's the plan. So I'm going to show you the process from start to finish, which is something you've not seen me do before. When I started filming the layout, all the baseboards were assembled. Now there's various ways of building baseboards and different ideas that people have. None of them are wrong, and they all have their place. I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to be doing for this specific area with the material I have, but it is by no means the way that you should do it for everything on a model railway. This is just a small area that's going to work for me, but if you see other methods or have other ideas, by all means use them. There's a million ways to build a baseboard. Okay, so this is, or was, the side of a wardrobe, and at least I think it was a wardrobe, might have been a cupboard or something, but it's been lying around at the bottom of the garage for years, and it's never been used. So considering I had the material to hand, I'm going to use it. It's veneered chipboard, so it's not the best sort of material, but because I'm going to be building it conventionally, I should be able to put sufficient bracing underneath it to keep everything level and prevent it from warping in the future. If I didn't have this to hand and I was starting totally from scratch, I would recommend that you went out and you got yourself some plywood. Plywood's a fantastic material, and it's very good for building baseboards because it's quite resistant to warping. However, this piece of material here is exactly the size I'm after, and it was free. It's lying around, so I'd be mad not to use it. Okay, I have everything I need. I've got the tabletop, I've got some chunky timber for the legs, and I've also got some smaller pieces for the bracing. All of it has just been lying around, nothing's been bought, so I'm just going with what I can find at the moment. If I need to get something, I'll go out and get it, but at the moment I think I can get away with using the recycled material. So the majority of this will be sidings, so it's just going to be a standard flat tabletop, and then I'll be putting the storage underneath it at a later date. So I'm just going to go for the traditional method. So I'll be bracing all the way around the edge of it. I'll have legs in the corners and in the middle, and then there'll also be some cross pieces just to make sure that it's all level. And then if I've got enough material, I might triangulate the legs at the corners as well, just in case anybody walks into it. gives it a bit more strength. Okay, so made some good progress. We've just got the traditional sort of baseboard set up, so I've got the battens running around the edge, and then I've got two support beams in there as well, just in case things start to try and warp down the road. So it's all secured on the corners, and then the top is screwed to all the battens, and then these pieces are secured across, and then there's also a hole going down from the top as well. You can see secured all the way around the edge. Then you can see those holes, all screws in the middle. So it should stand the test of time. So now I'll make some legs for it. Okay, so made some legs. They're different lengths because the floor up here isn't particularly even. Just two pieces of timber. I'll just put a little piece across to brace them a little better. They will be screwed to the beam that runs along there, so it'll be nice and secure once it's in at the bottom. I've got a screw this side, a screw this side, and a screw up from the tabletop itself, so they're not going anywhere. So I'll flip it over, get it in the right place, and then I can get the spirit level and measure what length I'm going to need to do for the legs at the other end. Okay, legs are on at this end. Just put a bit of bracing on them just to make them a little bit more secure. Up at this end, it's sitting a little bit too high. It's about 3mm too high. So I'll just flip it over and just sand a bit off the bottom of the legs. And then I can secure it to the ground, and I'll also put a leg in the middle of it just to stop it from bowing. Okay, so it's in its intended position, and I've taken a little bit off the legs at this end, and this is now nice and smooth. There's a slight rise here because of the texture that was from the road that's there, but that'll be sanded off, get rid of that, and then it'll all meet nicely onto the same level. There's plenty of room down here, more than enough room to be honest. My little workbench will be removed. I have a bench downstairs that I use a lot more now. That's really just been used for storing stuff, so all of the stuff that's been stored will eventually go underneath there with some shelves and stuff. But it's looking good. Just popped some coaches on to give you an idea of the scale of it. So there'll be some sidings on here. I've already got the track that's been left over from doing the fiddle yard, so plenty of track. And I will be able to get some nice carriage sidings, and then have a nice job for the station pilot shunter, so it can come in here, collect the carriages, can then take them off, bring them round into the station, drop them off, and then return back around into here, and then either wait or pick up some more coaches for another train. So the next thing to do is to secure it to the floor, and I'm going to put a leg on each side in the centre here. If you look down the length of it, you can see there is a slight bow. It does dip ever so slightly in the middle. That'll only get worse as time goes by. So I will be putting some legs in the centre to support it a little better. Okay, I've put some small legs in the middle, small uprights. They don't need to be very strong, they're purely just to get the level right. You can see it's now very level. That's about as good as it's going to get. Same on the other side too. The slightest of dips in the middle, but it's so slight it's not worth worrying about. It's all secured to the floor. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm sure I'll walk into it at some point, but it's nicely secure, so it shouldn't go flying. So that concludes part 1, and I'll be uploading part 2 as soon as I can, which will be on beginning to plan the track and start thinking about the electrics.